Alrighty, so it's not often you get to hear my voice, but let me explain exactly what happened with this. I was trying to devise a charging circuit. It's the first time I've ever done this for a custom battery for a project. 3.7 volt is not high enough to, on its own, power anything Arduino or the likes of. And that is the standard voltages you will find in a lot of LiPo batteries. So I did some research on it, and fairly simple and straightforward. You need what's called a buck converter or a boost converter. Basically, it's just a small device that allows you to amp up the voltage. So I chose a charging circuit. I had some left over, which was the beginning of my problems, instead of purchasing a new one, because I decided I could upgrade that later if I wanted to from micro USB to Type-C. That's still an option, but at any rate, it's very simple. Charger charges up the LiPo battery, and it allows for pass-through, so you can charge and use it at the same time, even though that's not exactly relevant for the mass concept because you're not going to be walking around with a charge cord tethered to you. But anyway, when you unplug this, or during, it doesn't matter, it's supposed to have an out circuit, and you can see that here. The problem is the buck converter, which I have it set to 12 volt, is supposed to be able to power not only the Arduino, but a lot of other hardware that I've been noticing that is most efficient at 12 volt. Unfortunately, it seems as though the moment power starts to go through the charge circuit to the buck converter, it immediately trips the overcurrent protection circuit on this, basically kicking it down to 1.1 volt, and the buck converter can't do anything with it, and the entire project sits dead. So I had this intricate, stupid, kind of concept of remedying that by just shorting out the battery plus from, well, basically getting rid of the out portion of the charge circuit and allowing the power to go directly from the battery to the device. The problem is that, or to the buck converter, and the problem is that if the buck converter is in operation at all, that pretty much means that the charge circuit is not going to really be able to identify the difference between the needs of the battery and the needs of the buck converter. And if the charge circuit screws that up, it could potentially overcharge the LiPo battery or allow it to be completely drained, or any variation of issues that would cause the death of that battery, or the harm of me, since this unit would be on the back of my neck. So I decided, instead of just having that set up, or even having a switch that turns it off, I'm just getting rid of the charge circuit entirely. The current idea is exactly what you're going to see here, and it should be very obvious, the very simple and easy way to remedy to this, and it saves me parts in the long run, and it saves me hassle with troubleshooting, because the charge circuit you see here works, and it's proven to work. And I can test it easily, and it's not built in or hidden underneath parts for another project or anything like that. Here's the video on exactly how I solved that problem. I hope you guys enjoy.